Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table. Let's talk about everything from the latest fitness and wellness trends, recipes that are actually worth cooking, and the craziness that's happening on our side of the internet. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey. Ooh, it is 7:21 on this Tuesday evening, and let me just say, my candle in my bedroom is lit. My Christmas tree is on. I'm sitting down on the couch with a Christmas movie on my TV. It happens to be The Christmas Pact with Kyla Pratt, the movie where Jasmine Guy and Kadeem Hardison play her parents. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, dang, their chemistry on A Different World was so good that they literally get hired to be a couple on everything. Like typically if you see one of them, you see the other one. They are like our forever couple that met in college. They were high school, or not high school, but college sweethearts. And I just think that is so neat that they have managed to keep their coupledom, or their TV coupledom anyway, like generationally. Like they're playing the mom and dad to like the nieces that be on TV. That just blows my mind, and I think it's so cute. Anyway, here I come to you just as sore as I can be. Yesterday, the workout that I did wore me out. It was my first like real workout since the doctor was like, yeah, you can go back to doing whatever you want to do. And the thing about that is that I purposely picked something that I thought was going to be like light work. And it was. When I was doing it, it wasn't bad at all. And I was feeling really good and confident. And I was like, yeah, well, this is not bad. I'll do the same workout pretty much all week because this was not bad. And it wasn't. I can just feel it. Like my legs are tired. My body is sore. But I'm trying to make sure that I work out like, well, my goal is to work out. And do not hold me to this because I might not make it. But my goal is to work out almost every day until I have that next surgery. And I don't know if that comes from a place of me being like just a little scared of what's to come after this next surgery. I just know I don't want to be in any way, shape, or form like I was after this last one. And when I think about it, I was like, I was working out all the time. Like I was in great shape before all of this happened. Granted, when it happened, it took me down to like the lowest point that a person could go. Obviously, like being septic or having sepsis takes you to like almost takes you to see the king, right? So then when you think about it like that, you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm rebuilding my body, not from like a post-surgical state. I'm literally rebuilding my body from being in a very low place. And I know that won't be the case after this next one, but I think I just have not quite allowed the memory of that to like go somewhere and sit down. And because it's still very much so at the forefront of my mind most days, I'm like, yeah, we got to make sure we are at our strongest, whatever that looks like before this next thing, so that we can have, a good recovery experience. So that's my goal. In case anybody was wondering, like, what is she working out for? I'm solely working out so that after that next surgery, I'm not literally begging and pleading with a physical therapist to be able to come upstairs to my room. So there's that. I also come to you on this Tuesday evening feeling a little out of sorts because today at 6:00, my daughter tells me she doesn't want to go to her hair appointment tomorrow, which typically would not be a big deal. But seeing as how hairdressers have like policies and rules now, I'm like, girl, if you knew you weren't going to want to get your hair done tomorrow at 4:00, or I think her appointment is 4:30, I needed to tell her that today by 4:30. Like you can't just up and decide, because now that means one of us has to go over there. One of us has to go over there. My daughter likes wearing her hair natural, which I fully support, and I really love that. Her hair eats down, she's happy, I'm happy, right? However, the hairdresser that we go to doesn't do twist outs, right? She does blowouts, she does silk presses, all the different treatments, hydration, protein. You can get a really bomb haircut, like she will cut the mess out of your hair. She will color your hair exactly like what you show her in a picture. She's phenomenal. She's great. But my daughter doesn't want to wear her hair blown out. So I am in a situation right now where, number one, when my daughter died to have a haircut because she just knew she was going to be wearing her hair blown out all the time. Now that she was in high school, I had to fight tooth and nail to get a standing appointment at the hair salon because the hairstylist stays booked and busy, right? The appointments for the hair salon open up on the first Saturday of the month. You make your hair appointments for whatever that next month is on that Saturday. So for example, this coming Saturday, I will make hair appointments for January if I want one. My daughter has standing appointments, so like I don't have to get in there and tussle with the people. But that's why I like the standing appointments, because I don't want to tussle with the people on the first Saturday of every month, right? But now that my daughter has found herself in a place where she's like, actually, I would prefer to wear my curly hair and not get my hair straightened as often. I'm like, well, I have these appointments. I always don't want to get my hair done. Like for example, tomorrow, because my daughter didn't let me know this until it was too late, in order to not be charged like the fee, like a late fee or whatever the fee is, in order to not be charged that, I'm going to have to go get my hair done. And let me tell you something about astigmatism and the time change. Them two things don't go together. So going to get my hair done is no problem. Driving back home after I've had my hair done is one of those situations where I'm hoping for the best. I put my glasses on and I hope for the best, but I'm stressed out the whole way home because what do you mean, even with glasses, everything is still a hot, blurry mess? I don't get it. I don't get it. But as a mother, that's kind of where I am. And also, I cooked today, like for real. I made them salmon croquettes with stewed okra and tomatoes with a little bit of rice. It went over really well. Everybody was so happy. And as I'm sitting here talking to you right now, I'm remembering now that this is what my life used to actually be like on a regular basis. And girl, I don't know how I was doing it. And I didn't even do that much stuff today. That's why I'm like, ooh, this is going to be, a very light rollout to getting me back into the saddle. But then certainly once I do have that next surgery, I'm going to take every single day that I can to still not do any of these things. I'm going to take them because why am I so tired? It was literally salmon croquettes, stewed okra and tomatoes. I didn't even need that much time in the kitchen to do either one of those things. It was a very quick cook. But I think the cooking combined with the fact that I'm already sore from yesterday and I have a slight attitude because the girl just told me she didn't want to go get her hair done tomorrow. And so now that means I got to suck it up and go and I don't even want to go. Yeah, one of those things has me a little drained and I'm not sure which. Luckily for me, though, I do have a little cup of the eggnog wine cocktail just to help me through the call. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. First of all, what's been on my table? Well, of course, like everyone else, I had Thanksgiving last week and he did a good job. I can't say nothing bad about it. To my surprise, not only did he do a good job, but we ate at a relatively reasonable time and the kitchen was clean at an even more reasonable time, what I would consider to be, extremely reasonable. I was sitting on the couch watching TV thinking to myself like, oh my gosh, we have eaten, it was good. The kitchen is clean. Like there's not one thing for me to say. And I like being able to say things. It's not one thing for me to say. I had to say all good things, which are still things that you can say. I'm not used to being able to only say good things. Normally there's a teachable moment in there, or like there's some form of constructive criticism. Not that I look to criticize him or anything like that, but you know what I'm saying. There was nothing. I literally had to sit there and eat my food and be nice, which was great because it was a holiday. Telling you, it was great. We ate that food until I think like Saturday. Yeah, Saturday we ordered pizza, actually. And then, the kids were very happy with that because by Saturday they were definitely over it. And I was very happy with that because I'm like, okay, yeah, he did right. He cooked enough for us to have enough to last us until this pizza. Like, that's why I say 10 out of 10 no notes. What I did say to him, though, was that, oh, okay, so now that I know that you're capable, like he's able, now that I know that you're capable, next year when I'm in here making 11 different things, you can definitely be down here too. You can be in the mix in the kitchen with an apron. We can get matching aprons, actually. We can. And we can be in here together doing this because it would take us half the time and that would be lovely. So I have high hopes for Thanksgiving 2026. Although I think we have already promised people we would come to them for Thanksgiving 2026. And I do believe we have probably double booked ourselves, which is not going to work. So somebody is going to be slightly disappointed or somebody will have to just see us at another time. That's never fun to have those conversations. But anyway, had that. The pecan pie from Costco is something that I did want to highlight while we were on the phone. Girl, it was good. It was $16.99. It's huge. You cannot even make a pecan pie that size for less than $16.99. Unless you grow your own pecans. I'm guessing most people do not. My parents actually live on a pecan orchard. So I take that back. Some people that live in the Atlanta metro area probably do have their own pecans, but most of us do not. You get what I'm saying. Girl, that pie was good. That pie was so good that there were days that I was standing up at my kitchen counter with a fork over the pie, just eating right out of the pan because I was the only one eating the pecan pie. It was that good. I was having a slice of it every day with a little bit of vanilla ice cream. And it got to a place where I had to throw the pie away. So like when we were getting rid of like the leftovers that were in the refrigerator that like just didn't make it, I think we had like 2 servings of mac and cheese left, a little bit of dressing left, like the smallest, tiniest container of dressing. We had, what else did we have that was left? Not much, actually. Yeah, but whatever day that was that I was throwing stuff away because it was just taking up space in the refrigerator, I had to have a come to Tia moment. And I had to come back to myself and say, girl, you need to throw this pecan pie away because you're literally eating it every single day, multiple times a day. You're having it for breakfast. You're standing up eating it at the counter. You're having it while you watch Christmas movies, and it's gone too far. But that's how good that pie is. So if you're looking for a Christmas dessert and you don't want to bake one, especially if you like pecan pie, girl, go over there and get you one of those. Also, I feel like this is a great time for me to remind everybody that if you are on the fence as to whether or not you should have a Costco membership in 2026, girl, let this be the moment that you shake your head yes. North and south it. Get on the internet and get yourself a membership. They probably will be on sale or something. I don't know. Probably, maybe. You could go up there and see. I know all the days of deals are like over from most places, but girl, that way all of 2026, when I'm saying that I find things and I'm shopping for all this stuff, if you want it, you can go up there and get it. Because I always pick out the best stuff. It's always such a good price. And I love sharing all of that with you. And no one, again, I don't get paid to talk about Costco. I buy my membership every year like everybody else. But actually, no, I don't, because I have the executive membership, which means I earn 2% cash back on all of my purchases. And every year they mail me a check. And I use that check to purchase my new membership each year. Or I use it to save money on groceries, whichever one I'm in need of most at the moment. And it's a good check. Like, depending on how much you shop there, girl, the check is always right on time, and we love a check in the mail, do we not? So go over to Costco and get yourself a membership so we can continue to shop together. Now, let's talk about a couple different things. First of all, I want to give a shoe update, because when we talked the last time, I told y'all about how Tory Burch really had a complete design failure with the gold logo and the silver buckle. How about the next day, while I'm sitting on the couch bored, I get back on their website, because that's what shoppers do. I get back on the website and I go just to look at the shoes, because I'm like, well, maybe it won't get on my nerves that bad to have that silver buckle. And do you know they had added another picture to that shoe that was a close-up, and it was a gold logo and a gold buckle? Of course, when I saw that, I got excited. Then I went to add my size to a cart, and my size was sold out. So now I'm like, well, maybe the lighting in that other picture was just bad, because that other picture was still up there. But I'm like, maybe the lighting was just bad. I don't know. Either way it goes, I'm like, you can't keep a real spender down. So what did I do? I scrolled through their website and I found something else that I think will work just as well. Oh, and my stuff should be coming. I should be getting a delivery here pretty soon. When I get that stuff, maybe I will unbox it on the Instagram page. Yes, I just might do that. I mean, spoiler alert, one of them is kind of like a ballet flat, but it doesn't look exactly like a ballet flat, but I think it'll be perfect for me. It's kind of edgy. It's cute. It's very me, that shoe. And that's all I needed, was a comfortable black plain shoe that would go with all of the different types of leggings that I wear, as well as whatever jeans I wear that might, show the entire shoe. That's what I needed. I needed those, and I needed some new flip-flops that were actually made out of something that can stand the test of time. Because the flip-flops that I have been wearing, or that I have, are probably just as old as my daughter. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I got them from Target many, many moons ago, and they look like it. They look like flip-flops I need to be walking my dog in, not necessarily putting on with like maxi dresses and like cute summery things going somewhere, So maybe I will do an unboxing on Instagram if that sits right in my spirit when that stuff gets delivered. I kind of feel like unboxings are only cool if you're unboxing something that's like really, really special. And these are just black everyday shoes. So we'll see. Because I do have a friend that would tell me, like, girl is special to somebody, do it. So there's that. While I was out running errands with my daughter one day, we happened to go into Ross because she wanted to go in there and look at stuff. And I'm always game to be out and about, bouncing around with her. While we were in there, I happened to see a pair of reindeer antlers and like the little nose for your car. I have always wanted to turn my car into a reindeer, but never saw a set that I felt like would look good on my car, because my car is black. So I didn't want brown antlers, because I'm like, no, that wouldn't be cute. So I never got it. Girl, how about Ross had an antler set with gold sequin? Like the whole set is sequin. Let's start there. But second of all, the antlers were gold. They have a little bit of holly on them. And the nose is, of course, bright red, but it's also sequin. I cannot tell you how much joy it has given me to see my car like out in the parking lot somewhere, or just to look at it when I'm walking up to it in the garage and I see my antlers and my nose. Girl, that has made me so happy, which gave me like the best idea that I wanted to pass along to you all, because it's not too late. It's only December 2nd. Why don't we do like Christmas things in our cars? Especially if you're a person that spends a lot of time in your car. Why is Christmas not in our cars too? And I hate to be the person that's like, girl, go buy something else. But no, like, let's talk about it. Because we could do like a cute little ornament somewhere in your car. Or you could do like the air freshener thing that smells like a Christmas tree. Or you could hang something from your rearview mirror, like a little wreath or something. I don't know. And I'm sure if I Googled it, they probably have little decorations for your car. But I'm like, yeah, why don't we have Christmas in our cars? Because I know on any given day, I'm in my car for at least an hour or two, and it probably would make me feel so nice and happy and so nice and cozy to have a little bit of Christmas in my car. Now, I know they sell those little toothbrush Christmas trees or like little tiny Christmas trees. I could see that going into maybe a cup holder if you have a cup holder to spare, or it can kind of go into one of the little nooks and crannies of the little underneath part of your dashboard for your car. I don't know. And I'm not saying go buy nothing else, but I'm also saying if you happen to be out and you see something like a cute little red bow or something, girl, get it and put it in your car and let's see if Christmas in our cars makes a difference. I kind of feel like it's going to. I also was on the lookout. Oh, that's my bag. I'm sorry. I was also on the lookout for a Christmas apron, like a new one, but then I kind of gave up on that because I couldn't find one that was cute that had pockets. Every cute one that I saw didn't have pockets, and you know, what can you do? You know, whenever my bag makes that noise, I just feel like it's telling the world everything about me. Like I just ate okra before I came up here, and I feel like the bag just wants everyone to know, which luckily I just happened to be home this time when it did it. But when you're out around other people, like in public, and it makes that noise, people are like, what was that? Like, what was that noise? And I just pretend like I don't know. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. I have no idea what that noise was. Okay, so what I really wanted to talk about today was the fact that I know it's still a little early in December, but I'm already kind of thinking a lot about 2026 because I'm excited about it. I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be back out there. I'm gonna be back out in the field and in the streets in 2026. But I want to be better about what I would like to believe is like my own personal wellness program, my own little wellness routine. And since I've had a lot of time to think about how I can improve upon that in the coming year, I really plan to do it. And it has come to me that I think the biggest thing that would have a big impact on my life, because in the short time that I've been practicing some of these things here recently, it really has had a big impact on me and how I feel. And that truly is committing to having these hobbies. Now, we talked about it a few calls ago, and I had several people reach out to me to share different hobbies they thought would work for me, like right now, while I'm not being as active, or like before when I wasn't being as active. And I researched a lot of those hobbies, and I kind of like them all. That's kind of one of my problems. I like everything, and then I don't know how to narrow it down, but I was able to narrow it down. I don't want to tell everybody what I'm going to do in 2026 and how I made liking just about everything work for me. Hang in there. So I'm definitely going to keep crocheting in 2026. I love crocheting. You can take it everywhere. There are so many stitches to learn, so many different types of yarn, so many different needles, so many different projects. Literally, I love being online and going down a crochet little rabbit hole and seeing what everyone is making. I definitely would love to do a blanket in 2026. And I saw a girl on TikTok do the dopest purse I have ever seen that was crocheted, and she had like weaved a gold chain like into the handle of the purse. When I mean to tell y'all it was cute, I mean to tell y'all it was so cute that I could see how someone would start making those and then monetize it. I'm not going to do that. Like, I won't be selling any crocheted goods, but I could totally see where someone could have a legit business selling the particular purse I saw on TikTok. Because when I saw it, I was like, ooh, girl, I would buy that. Like, I would buy it. And I already have really cute ideas for like how I want mine to look. So very excited. We're hoping, like, enough of us begged her in the comments to do a tutorial on it, to tell us like the type of yarn, how she did it, all of that. And if she decides to share with us how she did it, oh, I'm going to be all over that. I'm going to be all over that because that purse was really cute. So I'm definitely crocheting in 2026. Another TikTok rabbit hole that I went down was junk journaling. It came across my FYP. I don't think I ever even knew what that was before I saw it. I really don't think I did. But once I saw it, it made so much sense. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when I was in high school and I would decorate a shoebox. And let's see if anybody else used to do this. I would decorate a shoebox, right? And in the shoebox, I would have things that meant something to me all throughout that school year. So I would have like movie ticket stubs. Maybe I would have receipts from something, wristbands from different events. I would have pictures. I would have little notes that maybe me and my friends would pass to each other. I would have stickers. Anything that was like a memory worth me keeping as a keepsake, I would put it into that shoebox. And I really wish I still had those. Those were kind of like my personal little time capsules. But when my parents moved from Charlotte to Atlanta, pretty sure my little time capsules probably got thrown away because they probably went into my room, saw them shoe boxes. They may have opened them to make sure that there were no shoes in them. And once they saw that those shoe boxes were filled with what to someone else would look like random mess, they probably just threw them away. But I used to do that in high school. The junk journaling thing, I feel, is like the adult version or like the 2025 version of my little high school shoe boxes. So girl, I'm very excited about that. I have already picked out my journal. I have already picked out the color of my journal. I'm going to decorate the outside of it because I really love doing that. And I've seen a couple different ways to do that on TikTok. I think for my first one, I'm going to keep the design of my journal a little simple. I keep it a little simple only because I want to feel as if it's okay for me to still take the journal with me places sometimes, I think. And if I want to do that, I don't want it to be like a big bulky thing, which I do understand that eventually it may get that way as you fill it with stuff. But I don't think I want the cover of it to necessarily be like like bulky. So we'll see. I'm very excited about this. I have also looked into one of the portable photo printers so that I can take the photos from my phone and print them out on sticker paper. I love the idea of that. I don't love the reviews that I've seen on those things though. So I'm trying to find one that seems like it's getting some consistently good reviews, but very, very, very excited to junk journal in 2026. I feel like it'll be a good way for me to kind of document like my life as well as give me some like arts and craft time. What I like about the junk journal too is that there are no rules. Like I don't have to feel like I got to sit down and pour my heart out on a page. I don't have to feel pressured to actually like write. I also love the fact that some of the other hobbies that y'all told me about, I can do them in the junk journal. So like someone mentioned calligraphy to me, like learning calligraphy. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Actually, I could do that in my junk journal. I could do watercolor in my junk journal. I could kind of document my baking and my cooking days. Like whenever I do my little projects like that, or like whenever I do my canning projects, I could document that in my junk journal. When I'm practicing my guitar, God forbid, if I ever learn an actual song, we're going to talk about that in a minute. I could document that in my junk journal, as well as whatever adventures and shenanigans should happen to cross my path throughout the year. That might be one of my most favorite things I'm excited about in the coming year. Now, the guitar, I'm going to keep doing it, but let me tell you something. You cannot have fingernails at all when practicing the guitar or like learning it, playing it, whatever. So that means, unfortunately for me, as a girl who does not like going to get her nails done, and I just don't ever even think to do my nails in my free time, I'm going to have to become a person that makes time to do my nails or get my nails done, because they've got to stay short. And if they're going to be as short as they need to be in order for me to play the guitar, then they've got to be cute. Like they've got to be properly polished and like all of the things. So that's actually going to be a challenge for me in 2026. But girl, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to really try. So come spring, so like maybe by April, it's going to be one of my goals to pick up my guitar lessons and take them seriously, because I already have my little teacher that I love on YouTube. So that's not an excuse for me. I just need to keep these nails super short, and we push through. We push through with our little nubby nails. So there's that. I'm going to continue reading. This year, I have read more books than I can remember reading in a long time. That is largely in part due to the fact that I am in a book club. I say this all the time up here, but girl, I'm going to say it again because the theme for 2026 is pretty dope. I'm in the Pouring Over Books book club. You can go to either Pouring Over Books Pod on Instagram, or you can go to LaShawn Wiltz on Instagram, and I'll put links to both of her pages in the description box of this episode. I'm pretty sure you can go to pouringoverbooks.com, the website, and sign up for the book club that I'm in. Next year, we are reading our way through Toni Morrison. And I feel like that's going to be so fun. And for whatever reason, I always want to say bell hooks, but we're not. It's not Tia. It's not bell. It's not bell hooks. It's Toni Morrison. We're reading our way through her books, plus whatever else LaShawn decides to put on the reading list for next year. But all of us that are in book club are super excited about next year. We would love to have you. We're a friendly bunch. We meet virtually once a month to discuss the book that we've been reading. We have conversations over on Substack about what we're reading, and it is a great time. There is a fee for book club to help cover the cost of like the Substack or like Zoom or like all of the things that it takes for her to run book club. And also we would like to compensate her for her time. So there is a fee associated with book club, but girl, you got it. You got it. And it's not anything that's going to keep your kids from going to college. So join us in 2026 for book club so that we can all read and be avid readers together and add books to our read list for the year. This year, I for sure read 11 books. Now, I did miss 1 month of book club when I was going through my whole thing, right? But I read all the other books, and all of them were good. There was only one book that we read this year that I was just like, my goodness, that was a little rough for me. But all of the rest of them were genuinely good reads that I enjoyed reading. And so I have high hopes for 2026 because I know it's going to be the same thing. I do know Toni Morrison's books will probably give us a different kind of conversation. Like, I fully expect for people to have different opinions and, you know, different thoughts and feelings. So maybe our meetings might be a little different next year. But I fully expect to still have a great time. So everybody, come join us at book club. Now my phone rang, so I hope that didn't mess up my recording. Anyway, those are going to be my 2026 hobbies. How do I plan to do this and actually do it? Because I have friends who have great hobbies, like they do all kinds of cool things, and I see them actually doing it, and I'm like, oh, that's right. You gotta have a plan to actually execute this, Tia. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to research these hobbies, which I already did, right? I've been reading about all of them. We're going to plan and get our materials. So I'm going to make a list of all of the items that I feel that I need to start doing some of these hobbies. Then I'm going to buy the stuff. I'm going to already have it before January even comes. Then I'm going to schedule the time. I'm going to block out time to do the hobbies. Now, right now, I'm on the fence as to whether or not I should just block out free time just in general. And on the day of, I decide like which hobby I want to do, or if I should say, well, every Friday at such and such time, I'm going to do one of my hobbies. The first Friday of the month, I will crochet. The next Friday, I will do this. And that kind of feels like scheduling sex to me. So I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to do that. What I would like to do is just in the moment say, oh, today I feel like I really could sit down and work on my blanket. I would like to do that. Or like today, I'm really in the mood to be in the kitchen. So I'm going to do that. But I just need to block the time out so that the time is actually there for me to do it. Because if I don't block out time, I'll mess around and have all this stuff in my house to do all these things, and I'm not doing any of them, which is like a real thing that would absolutely happen. And then, of course, I want to document it. I want to take pictures, put it in my little journal, and maybe share some of it online. But I really want to have fun with it because I want to see more women my age doing like the fun things that they're interested in. And if that's what I want to see, like I have to also be sharing it so that the algorithms can like feed it to me. I love seeing the crafty, fun, hobby-like things that people do. That's how I found the girl that made the crochet purse. That's how I found the girl that was junk journaling. Oh, another TikTok rabbit hole that I went down a couple nights ago was all about this bag called the Baggu or Baggu. It's spelled Baggu. And this is like a carry-on bag that you use when you travel. And I guess you could use it for like road trips for the weekend or whatever. But I was fascinated watching people fill that thing with all of their things. The amount of stuff that bag can hold never ceased to amaze me. I watched video after video after video, and I'm like, wow, these younger women really do have certain things all together, and packing for a trip is one of them. Like if you go on TikTok and if you do a search for like Baggu reviews, look at them and how they have all of the little carrying cases for everything. They use those packing cubes and they're really good with those. I could never get my packing cubes to do what they were supposed to do. But the girls are doing it, and they show you, like, you can pack your whole life in that carry-on bag if you do it right. And I have definitely gone to the Baggu site and picked me out a bag. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Before I go anywhere on Delta, I need to have me one of these. And I shall. I will. Actually, I will. Because I got to get one and I got to fill it with all the things. I must. It's one of my goals for 2026. So go down a couple rabbit holes and see if you don't find something that speaks to you. Because I feel like that's what makes life so fun and interesting. And when you always have something that you can either do or look forward to, I think that keeps us in such a positive mindset that it makes it easier to follow through on like some of the other goals that we feel like we kind of should be doing, like working out and eating right. So, yes, girl. Now let's talk about TV, because I have watched some really good things. Hoarding for the Holidays, episodes 1 and 2, I really wasn't sold on the use of the word hoarding. I felt like these people were just very Christmassy and we needed to leave them alone. One man ran a business where he decorates event spaces and like homes for the holidays. So he was justified in the amount of stuff he had. The only thing I questioned about them is why is it that him, his best friend, and her husband all live in the same house? But in this economy, I quickly checked myself and said, hey, whatever works for them works for them. Although I feel as if that is why the husband travels so much for work. Because he's like, girl, I can't be in this forever sleepover with you and your bestie. Can't do it. I cannot do it. So first 2 episodes, I really wasn't getting it. The woman, the couple that was in, I think, episode 1, the lady that bought the $5,000 Christmas tree only to put it in her daughter's room, they just had a garage full of stuff. And they went shopping for a lot of things. But I'm like, hey, if it makes her happy, and I didn't see him complain one time, he was kind of like happy wife, happy life. Again, I really wasn't getting it. It didn't really hit me until episode 3. When this man who lives with his mama had his mama's house full of all this stuff. And I could tell the mama was kind of over it. So then that's when I was like, okay, yeah, well, he is an actual hoarder and he's putting his mama through this and she doesn't deserve this. Like, sir, you need to move out, get your own place and fill your own place with all this Christmas stuff. Why do y'all have so many of those? I think they're called, are they called blow molds? I don't know. But like the little light up statues that people put in their yard of like Christmas Mickey Mouse or like Christmas Goofy, and they're plastic. Y'all know which things I'm talking about. Why do you need like 500 of those? And in some of them, he said he has multiple of like the same one. Now, some of these people say they do displays for their neighborhood, like they put on shows for the community and people look forward to it. And I feel like that's a nice thing to do. I feel like it's a nice thing to run up your own personal light bill for the greater good of the community. However, I feel like if you're going to do that, then you probably you should have a storage unit, and you shouldn't have all of that stuff in your garage. When that lady opened the door to her house and the stuff was like at the door, they couldn't even step into the garage. I know she was embarrassed, and I know that young lady who had come to give her son a gift was like appalled. She was beside herself. She might have been a little bit disgusted, but she wasn't going to show it. Yeah. Now it is starting to feel and look like this is a show about people who hoard holiday decorations. So I'm excited to see the rest of the episodes, because they really did start out light. They kind of gave us an easy push into the people that are doing the most. So I'll keep watching. I think they only release 1 episode a week or something. And it's kind of like, why? Christmas season is so short. Give us all the episodes and let us binge watch them. I watched Brandy's Christmas movie, Christmas Every Day, and it was okay. It was all right. It was all right. I mean, I love Brandy as a singer. I love her as Moesha. I don't know what Brandy's like thing. Well, I mean, I do get it, but you know what? It doesn't line up for me. And I know this is sounding really scattered because I'm answering myself in my brain without telling y'all what my brain is saying. But you know what gets to me about Brandy? Let's keep it a buck. It bothers me that Brandy really does do the whole like wholesome image thing. And it was even in this movie. Even in this movie, she has a horrible boyfriend. And he is just that. He is a boy that is her friend. Like, they're dating, but they're not engaged. They're not married. And Brandy is very grown in this movie. Like, extremely grown. So let's just say, for example, Brandy might have been 40 in this movie. Let's say 40-year-old Brandy is dating this guy who always cancels on her at the last minute. He can never come to anything. He never really lets her talk all the way. Like, she'll start talking and he interrupts her. He's just not a good boyfriend. Then she meets this contractor because her mommy is going blind and they need to outfit her mom's house so that her mom is not like falling and bumping into stuff, right? We understand that. Of course, the contractor is devastatingly handsome. He seems to have a good personality about him, as they always seem to do in these Christmas movies. And he is around the house quite a bit because he's fixing and changing all the things. Of course, him and Brandy start kind of liking each other because her boyfriend cancels on her again when it's time to go to the little Christmas prom. She ends up taking the contractor because her mom is like, oh, well, why don't you just take him? Like, he'll go with you, blah, blah, blah. They go. They have a fabulous time. He's walking her up to the front porch and he leans in to kiss her and she's like, you know I can't do that. I'm dating so-and-so. And I'm like, but are you dating him? Because we ain't seen y'all go on no dates. We've seen y'all talk on the phone, and we have seen him tell you he couldn't make it. We haven't seen y'all date. Girl, and we would not fault you. We would probably actually really enjoy it, to be honest, if one of these Christmas movies had a little tea in them. Like, had you kissed him on the front porch, and now we have to go back and tell the bad boyfriend, number one, you suck, and number two, I'm moving on with the contractor. We probably really would have enjoyed that. I don't know. The movie, it was cute. If I happen to see it on TV while I'm like cooking in the kitchen, I'm not going to change it. Am I going to rewatch it like I rewatch like Merry Little Christmas, Merry Little Wedding, Merry Little Baby? No, because I run Kelly Rowland's Christmas movies into the ground, but she's just such a good actress. But yeah, so watch it, but you know, you probably could scroll and watch at the same time. I also have thought about, I haven't watched it yet. I have thought about watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I watched the first season of that when it started and didn't really ever feel the need to go back to it. But lately, some of their mess and drama has been making its way onto my TikTok, and my interest has been piqued. So I might save that. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save that show for after the next surgery, because that's some good mindless TV. That way, if I'm falling asleep and waking back up, it's no harm, no foul. I can pick up right where I left off. So I'll do that. I also started watching Diddy, The Reckoning today because it came out today. And let me just tell you something about this. When somebody really don't like you, the last thing you want them to be is a person with money and means. Because if they have the money and they have the means to basically show everybody why they too shouldn't like you, they might run off and do it. And if they do, it's going to be like what I have watched today on The Reckoning. Now, this documentary is 4 episodes. It's 4 parts. Each episode, I think, has been about an hour, maybe a little bit longer than an hour. But when I mean to tell you, it is a jam-packed hour from start to finish of each and every one. Let me break down for you some of the petty ways of 50 Cent and why I'm sure every day and twice on Sunday, Puff Daddy is going to wish he had just left that man's baby mama alone. Because I think 50 Cent must have really liked that lady. This is why every lady that you see cannot end up being your lady. Because then we have things like The Reckoning. This movie lays out for you historically a few different things. Number one, not to bring Jay-Z into this, but it's the only thing that comes to mind right now. It is truly the life and times of Sean P. Diddy Combs, right? From his birth, this is how far back the petty is going to go. They start out talking about that man's mama and daddy, and how the daddy wasn't nothing but a two-bit hustler, and the mama was basically running a brothel. I mean, these are loose terms, okay? I'm paraphrasing. But she was basically throwing parties, running the girls, and probably running some numbers too. So basically what 50 Cent said was, you came from nothing. This is how you got your start, the two of them. Talks about his mama and daddy. Talks about his daddy's untimely murder, right? And how him and his mama wore chinchilla furs to the funeral. So when we see Diddy dancing around in furs, he's not new to it. He's very much so true to it. how his mommy used to throw like the biggest, most outlandish, like craziest parties that apparently got a little dark after dark. Like mother, like son. He goes on to literally lay out for you every major milestone in that man's life, but it is accompanied by the wrongdoing of it all. So he might have left Howard when he was 19, right? But he leaves Howard and he's basically like running down Heavy D, knocking on his door every day, begging for a meeting with Andre Harrell. Gets the meeting, gets the intern, meets his homeboy. And I'm going to run down a list of people who are on this documentary. But basically, he meets his homeboy. You know, long story short, because I don't want to tell the whole thing. They start Bad Boy Entertainment. We know this. Some of the things that are revealed in this documentary are things we have never known before. Or at least I know I didn't. So when I mean to tell you, it spares no expense on the details. Every I is dotted, every T is crossed. You learn everything from people who have had firsthand accounts with these events. And even if you would say to yourself, well, man, this is how you know these people are telling the truth. Girl, because they show the truth. People have handwritten notes that they took while they were either working for him. There are diary entries. There's old video footage. There's like audio. Somebody might be talking about something that may have been in the public eye. For example, let's say the famous nightclub shooting with J-Lo. They talk about that, and they talk about how, you know, that happened and how we all know Sean ended up taking the fall for that whole thing. But then they talk about how he truly did take the fall for something he didn't do, because like a day or two before the nightclub shooting, Sean had a gun that was like at Puff Daddy's house, because everybody was like living in one of his brownstones apparently. He had a gun at the house, but like didn't even know what to do with it. Like didn't even know how to like load it or how to turn the safety off or whatever the story the guy is telling. He was like, that's how I know, number one, there's no way Sean could have shot somebody, because he didn't even know how to operate that weapon a few days prior to that thing happening. And number two, the man says, like, I know for a fact that like Sean shot them people. And if that wasn't enough, then of course the lady whose face got shot off has always said, you know, he shot her. So there's also that. But I guess back in the day when it happened, for whatever reason, that must not have meant anything to anybody, because we all know he got off and Sean went to jail for like 10 years. What I mean to tell you, it is also like a hip hop history lesson, because it talks about all of the major players that were out during the rise and then the ultimate fall of Bad Boys. So you get a real deep look at the East Coast, West Coast beef. You would never know that like Suge Knight was actually security for, I can't remember who it was now. Oh my gosh, me and my friend were texting about it earlier. But like, it's such a small world that they all live in. Suge Knight used to be somebody's security, but then he became like Suge Knight. Oh, he was Albie Shore's security. That's who he was, because Albie Shore was like a big deal. Suge Knight was Albie Shore's security guard. Then he became like the Suge Knight we all know him to be, right? Suge Knight's ex-wife is Capricorn's best friend. Capricorn, the famous Capricorn that's Diddy's assistant, best friends with Suge Knight's ex-wife. Small world. All of them are connected. some of the stuff that you learn, little pieces and tidbits, and I'm not going to give a lot of what is covered in the documentary away because, like I said, it's literally so much. It is so much that while I'm watching it and things are being said, I literally had to pause my TV, had to pause my television because I just couldn't believe some of the things that I was hearing. What do you mean he was collecting the sperm of the male prostitute that he had hired to like do those parties with Cassie? What do you mean they were collecting it? Why were they collecting it? They were collecting it because he used to make Cassie drink it. And so now I have a lot of questions because I'm like, was she drinking it when it was like fresh, like new? Or was she like, were y'all refrigerating it? And like, just whenever you feel like you want to make her do that, you're like, go in the refrigerator and like grab you a shot of that real quick. Like my mind, that's why I say it's too much. It will overstimulate you. I literally would have to pause it multiple times in an episode because I was just like, oh, I cannot hear another thing. It can't get any crazier than this. I still have episode 4 to watch because, like I said, I just needed a minute to collect my thoughts. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 were so full and so busy that I had to watch The Preacher's Wife while I was cooking dinner just to kind of like sage myself, to cleanse myself on all of that I have heard. But let me also just point out to you that the level of petty that resides inside 50 Cent has to be unmatched. At the beginning of every episode, you know how they do like script on the screen and it will say like in 2025, Sean Puffy Combs was convicted of so-and-so. Like it gives you like that brief little history at the beginning of every episode to kind of set you up for what you're going to see for the next hour. He puts that messaging at the beginning of every episode and at the end of every episode. So lest you forgot over the course of that episode why we were all gathered here today, he's not going to let you forget. This is an awful person. Is an awful person. And then if that episode had anything extra in it, like you learn about this lady who had been assaulted by him, who, has a case against him. So on that particular episode at the end with the regular, script that's up there, it also had information about how there are over 100 assault cases filed against him. And I think 77 of them are pending. Can you even imagine? Can you even imagine? Even if he made those people sign NDAs, or even if he tried to pay them to stay quiet, I'm sure he could have tried to do a lot of different things. But that's how I know either these people really hate you because you could not pay them off. They weren't willing to sign anything, or maybe their NDAs are no good anymore because now you've been convicted of something. I don't know how any of that works. But the people that are in this documentary, sharing information, hate his guts, from the depths of their souls. I don't know if they got paid to be up here or if they're just here out of the pure hatred that they have for him. But let's do a quick little roll call of all of the people that I wrote down. Mind you, I didn't even write down everybody because the investigator, the detective that works for the Las Vegas Police Department, he's an older white man, and you've probably seen him on other things before because anytime I've ever seen any type of show that talks about the killing of Tupac or the killing of Biggie or something Puff Daddy related, this same detective is in all of those. So y'all probably know who he is. I didn't write his name down, but I wrote down everybody else. So let's take it from the top in the order that they have appeared on my particular screen. Kalina Harper, she was in dirty money with Diddy and Don. And she kind of says up there that Don had an interesting relationship with him. She never says exactly what it is, but she does kind of hint to the fact like there was something between them that was weird. Almost like Don maybe wanted him to like her, but I bet you Don probably is sitting somewhere now very thankful that he didn't. And if he did, then I don't know, because, oh, yes, at the end of the third episode, you do kind of hear him saying that she even filed a suit against him. So maybe they did have some type of secret something going on that everybody didn't know about. Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane. Juror number 160, who only appeared like maybe once or twice and it was brief. Capricorn Clark, the assistant. Mark Curry. Kirk Burrows, who was a co-founder of Bad Boy. He owned 25% of the company when it started, and Puff Daddy's mama, Janice, owned the other 75%. I thought it was interesting that he shared that Puff Daddy's name wasn't anywhere on the LLC, and that was on purpose because he didn't want people who had, I think, died in that charity basketball game that he over-promoted and oversold tickets to be able to sue him for, like wrongful deaths or like whatever. When I mean to tell you, at every turn of this man's life, every time something positive, presumably positive happened to him, something bad happened that kind of overshadowed it. And some of it was just like, you did that, sir. Like, you're an awful human being. Girl, from start to finish. That's why I said, when people really don't mess with you, you need to leave them people alone, especially if they have money and means. Joy Dickerson Neal, who was a victim of sexual assault. Roger Bonds, an old security guard. Tim Dog Patterson, which is the guy you've probably seen on other documentaries too. He's Diddy's childhood friend, and he was like part of the entourage for a long time. Roxanne Johnson, Craig Mack's ex-wife, who said that they were so broke when Craig Mack was super famous, performing Flavor in Your Ear, Here, There, and Everywhere. She said they were so broke that she was having to ask her daddy for money. Can you even imagine? She said that they were at a party one night and they basically confronted Diddy and was like, look, we are broke and you got us out here shucking and jiving and singing. We need money. She said he pulled a wad of money out of his pocket, gave her $100, one single $100 bill, and told her, you better make sure he's at the next performance ready to go. Well, no, she didn't say that. I'm just making that up. But yeah, he gave her $100 and told her to keep it pushing. Can you even imagine? William Lesane, Tupac's cousin. Some man whose name is D1. They never give his government name, but he is a member of the Mansfield Crips. He was also one of Diddy's friends, and he was an unofficial security guard. Like he claims he was never hired to be security, but he was always with them just in case something popped off. Brooklyn Babs. Y'all remember Babs from being in the band, from making the band. And then the last person's name I wrote down was Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who was a music producer. And if you remember, that's the music producer that was suing him for his work that was completed on the Love album. He did all of that work for Diddy, claimed he never got paid, and that Diddy sexually assaulted him as well during the making of that album. I still have one episode to go. And my goodness, I know it's going to be a lot. I'm excited to see it. Once you start watching it, it grabs you because of the telling of it all. I was telling a friend earlier today that it's kind of like what we used to get from True Hollywood Story back when VH1, didn't that come on VH1? When VH1 would do like the True Hollywood Story of like your favorite celebrities, and it would just basically tell their life story along with whatever scandals also happened along the way. This is that, but like, I don't know, to the 50th power. This is that, and you really do get, when I mean to tell you from the depths of your soul, it is just a reminder that when somebody really does not rock with you in that way, it is best to leave well enough alone. It is best to leave well enough alone. Because now this man's whole life story, they done told that the man done slapped his mama. Like one of these people, and I can't remember which person told that story, but somebody was up here and they were like, yeah, then him and his mama got into it. And I saw him put his hands on his mama. Like I saw him slap his mama. And I said, what? And again, I had to pause it and text my friend because I'm like, oh, if you'll slap your mama, no other woman stood a chance. Like if you are so disrespectful and such a disgusting use of flesh that you would slap your mom, these other women never stood a chance. There was never any hope for them. They were always going to be in abusive situations. Like always. Always. That was always going to be the case. And every woman that we know of that he's been with, Misa Hilton, someone told a story about how he beat her on the street in New York, like out in public. I think like the way he described it, it might have been kind of like into the alley, but it was in the middle of the day. Like, yeah, beat her outside. Are you kidding me? Kim Porter, somebody talked about how Kim was really like a tough girl. Like she really used to put him in his place and she really used to talk mess to him, but that didn't keep him from beating on her. And people said that they definitely heard him beating on her like in other rooms. Like, yes. And then of course we all know what happened to Cassie. But this particular documentary told way more about some of the stuff that Cassie got put through than what we knew. And that's because, you know, the guy that was up here talking about that was the sex worker that they would hire. And he talked about how he worked with them for years, like years. And it would be like days and days and days. And he talked about the drugs and he talked about the oil and like the setup and how he would get her to like fall in line. Like he talked about the abuse he saw firsthand. It's crazy. It's a lot. They don't need to let that man out of jail. Not ever. And I know it's probably too late for an extension on his sentencing. I mean, at this point, he would probably have to do something in there that got him into trouble, or new charges would have to come up against him that they were able to convict him of. But I'm like, my gosh, on today. My gosh. Now, see, I just got another phone call, so I hope my recording went okay and my bag was going off. So, girl, that's probably my sign that I need to go because I still need to twist my daughter's hair before she goes to bed, and it's 8:30 and I know she's ready to go. So if you have not seen The Reckoning, if you feel like you want to see it, if you feel like you're up to it, get on Netflix, check it out. It's very binge worthy. You will learn a lot about hip hop as a whole. Well, that era of hip hop. You're going to learn a lot about that. You're going to learn a lot about him and his relationships with all these women. You're going to learn about him and some of the wrongdoings that he did to the men that came into his life, because he cheated everybody out of money. He cheated everybody out of everything. Because I don't want to tell it all, but it definitely goes into like his music label and how the artists got treated and their contracts. And it actually breaks down what kind of contract these people had and how basically everybody had signed up to be famous, but not really rich. And so I'm assuming these people really didn't read their contracts all that well, or they were just so happy to be having a contract to begin with that they, that they sign their lives away and certain rights to their art away. It's a lot, but I'm going to watch that 4th episode because I need closure. Girl, when you're out, say something nice to somebody. Make another woman's day. Make her smile. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you. And never knock another woman's hustle. I'll talk to you again real soon, girl. Love you. Bye.